Welcome everyone to this episode of Self-Made. I'm your host, Dee Brown CEO. My guest today, parents moved to the U.S. from Jordan in 1970 when he was only 6 months old. His father operated a chain of convenience stores and produce markets throughout the city of Chicago. He would spend the weekends at the family business and grew up with an entrepreneurial mindset. His wife was born in Naperville, where she attended Neuqua Valley High School. She went on to attend Bradley University. He took some college courses, but school was never an area where he thrived. He started traveling to different college campuses selling screen-printed T-shirts. He got to experience several cool coffee shops across the country since they had payphones and a place to unwind. And this is where the One World idea was birthed. His expertise is in financial analysis and people appreciation. In 2011, his wife joined the family business. Her specialty is working with employees and customers. They are keenly aware that without the incredible team and customers, One World would be just a great idea. Please welcome Bob and Amy Eid to Self-Made. I am so happy to have you all on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, you all have a very interesting story. Bob, you grew up in the city of Chicago. Mm-hmm. Amy, you grew up in Naperville. Tell me about your early life. What was it like?
Well, my family grew up in the entrepreneurial situation as well, because my dad was running a business that his father and his uncle had ran a commercial printing business in the downtown Chicago. So we spent weekends, doing different pack outs, and we were really taught that we should be working harder than anybody else, being the owner's children.
That's right.
So we kind of grew up with that attitude as well, that even though there was time off, when you have your own business, you're always on. The parents are always on. The owners are always on. So I had a great childhood. I had a really great life, and I really am grateful that I got to see firsthand the stresses that owning a business carried throughout my whole life.
What about you, Bob?
I didn't know any different, but we would spend weekends working, and when the alarm would go off in the middle of the night and Dad had to go in, or he would take one of us in with, or we just had to clean up produce or just do whatever it was.
Right.
That's what we knew. And, it just ingrained in me that work never ended. And
work is life.
Yeah, and I agree. We had to work harder and just make sure that, we were there.
But those are valuable lessons that if you have the opportunity to be part of a family business, most people punch a clock, they get up, punch a clock, and they leave their job at work. When they come home, it's over. But when you own a business, there's this higher level of responsibility. So really, growing up in family businesses, how did that shape you all as the business people that you are now?
Well, I was going to say, just to say about you and your situation first, but you being with your brothers, I know that for you that was a huge sense, because you guys were in a smaller situation, that your parents and your brothers were all working together. Right. So you guys developed a reliance on each other.
Yes.
I mean, wouldn't you say that?
Absolutely. There was, my older brother really looked out for me and my younger brother George, and would always, come to our protection. But I got caught up. No.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Take your time.
Yeah. Well, can you bring me back to the question?
Sure. So really, I just want to understand, how did growing up in your family business, how did that shape you into the businessman that you are today? Because obviously you learned work ethics.
Absolutely.
You learned teamwork. I think you mentioned about your brothers, how they would come to your assistance.
Yeah.
And I think that's important with any business, whether you're working with your family or whether you're working with a team that you've built from among people that you did not know. Yeah. You end up becoming like family, and you end up relying on each other.
Okay. A fond memory for me was growing up and seeing the way my dad treated the vendors and the employees. Yeah. And every time a vendor came in to deliver, whether it was bread or soda or anything, they were asked, can we do anything for you, or can we buy you lunch, or because they were the ones that helped build that business.
Absolutely.
And the employees the same way.
Yeah.
I didn't know any difference between family and the employees.
Right. Well, that's I think a very important part of operating a business. every person within that organization plays a role, and the role they play is critical, right, to the success of that organization. And I think as a leader of an organization, you have to understand that and that value in order to be a truly effective leader. But I want to pivot to you for a second, Amy. You attended Bradley College, where you graduated, and Bradley is a staple in this community. Now, I know you got a degree in history from Bradley College, but that's not all you got. So tell us about Bradley College, and what all did you get from Bradley College in addition to your history degree?
Well, I definitely learned that if you want something, you have to go out and get it. But being a smaller university, I had great relationships with all of our professors. And I was fortunate that I had a few professors that were involved in nonprofit organizations, and they encouraged us to don't just come to school here, get involved in the community here. And that was really important to me because I ended up working at the Boys and Girls Club, which is the nonprofit here that's a great after-school program. But it really helped me really solidify that idea that you need to be part of the community that you're in. It can't be a one-way relationship. I can't just come to Peoria and try to get this great college experience and then leave. Right. If I want it to be a great experience for myself and for others, it has to be a two-way relationship. And that's one of the things that we talk about with our employees too, is that yes, you need a job, but also we need you, because we can have the best food in the world, but if we don't have any clean plates to put the food on, that's not going to work. Right. So that's what we always try to say.
No, absolutely. But what was across the street, though?
Yes. So One World Cafe is right across from Bradley University. So I was very fortunate to be able to get some delicious food there when I wasn't studying, of course.
That's interesting because I actually met my wife in a restaurant that I owned at the time that was not far from her school. She went to the University of Mississippi.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
So she was there because the food was good, right?
At first.
Right, exactly. Oh, that's amazing.
So Bob, you got your start selling screen printed T-shirts on college campuses.
That's right.
And you did this at a time when there were no cell phones and other convenient form of communications. Talk to me about the challenges you experienced there.
I'll bring up one that at the time, even just finding ways to ship T-shirts was a challenge.
Yeah.
And doing a little bit of research and digging in, we found that the Greyhound buses, if you would get to one station, you could load up these big 70-pound boxes and ship them to the next, as long as there was a Greyhound station wherever that university was. And before that, we were spending 2-3 times as much to ship a box and taking twice as long. But little things like that today is so easy, but back then it took me months to figure out something like that.
The answer is on our cell phone now. Anything you want to know,
instantly,
just put it in your phone and you got the answer. And I don't know how we used to find stuff out back in the day.
That's right.
We didn't have any type of internet or resources, so it was interesting.
Word of mouth.
But from that experience of selling those T-shirts, the One World concept was, it evolved. So talk to me about how that evolution occurred.
For just to run that business, we needed time to just sit down and kind of plan where was the next college or university. And I would have to sit and call different school campus organizations and see if they wanted to do fundraisers. And we partnered with a school campus group, and then they would set that up. And in order to do that, I would find a coffee shop, and a lot of times I'd need a payphone. You need a place to go and make your calls and find the big yellow pages. But it gave me time. And over the 3-year period that I was selling T-shirts, I said to myself, we need more of these coffee shops, because it was a place where I could do business.
Yeah.
And then George called. That's kind of it.
That's right. My brother George was at Bradley University.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, there's a location right across the street, and if you're interested, come visit. And before I even seen the location, I told him to go ahead and put a down payment on the rent for the place.
So tell me about One World, or what is One World all about? What all do you offer?
Well, we offer food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
And when we first started, it was called One World Coffee and Cargo, because I didn't even see it as a restaurant. I seen it as a place for people to come and kind of a community gathering place.
Yeah.
But as within 6 months, the demand was there. People would ask for more than just soup and salad and bagels. So it really grew into a full-fledged restaurant.
What type of food do you carry there?
So like you said, 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We do the full menu all day. We try, the whole concept is...
So I can get breakfast
anytime.
when I leave here this evening.
That's right.
Okay.
So the concept is, and so Bob, Sam, and George, the three brothers, the idea was that there'd be something for everyone. So that's the name, One World. So we're all on this one planet together. We need to get along. So that kind of translates to the food and beverage as well, that there should be something for everyone. So always there's been a flagship, there's always been vegetarian and vegan options that are, for the people that it's important to them, it's very important to them. But then we also have traditional, burgers, salads, pizzas. But our most famous item is the One World hummus. We make our hummus fresh every day, and we always joke, like Bob always says, the hummus was famous before hummus was in grocery stores.
That's right.
So for a lot of people, it was their first time trying it, and it's super delicious.
So Amy, you joined the business in 2011.
Yes.
What is your role at One World?
So I'm one of the co-owners. It was an interesting idea for me to join the business. Bob and Sam, which is his other brother, were running the business together, and I didn't know what that would be like, that type of dynamic. But knowing, I knew what it was like to run a business and a family together, but Sam, his brother, actually was really the one that pushed and was really open-minded and was like, we want...
need her.
Yeah, and he's really big into the philosophy of, everyone working together, attitude should always be gratitude and things like that, and that's a similar mindset that I have. So what now I would do, I work with all the new hire employees, bringing people in. Luckily I get to use my marketing degree for our t-shirts and our merch section and things like that, but then I'm just always there working with our management team as well.
So you were at Bradley College. Bob, you were originally in Chicago.
That's right.
So why Peoria? How did you end up making Peoria home?
It was my brother was at Bradley, and he was a theater major at Bradley University. And I was traveling from different college campuses, and there was always a little, like a scene where, and George just said, there is just nothing for the students to just go and have a place to gather. Yeah. And so the opportunity really...
Just kind of fate, I guess.
It really did. Yeah. And he was still studying when we first opened.
So is One World really a popular place for the college students to come and eat and gather?
It really is, but now it's really grown to be a community.
Yeah. Now, how important of a role has the Peoria community played in the success of One World?
The community is everything. So there was no marketing budget, and I joke that there still is no marketing budget. Right. So everything is based on word of mouth, and it started as the students and also the neighborhood supporting the business. But now, I mean, we have so much support. Even coming out of the pandemic, we were never in a situation that we thought we might have to close our doors forever, because everybody continued to show up for us, whether even when we had to switch to just carry out. So the community is everything, and that's what I always say. If we have the best food in the world, but there's nobody in the seats, right, then who's the fool? We're nothing without our customers. And that's what, when we kind of talk with other like new emerging business owners, that's one of the things we always say is you can have the best thing in the world, but if you don't have that relationship with your customers where they feel that you appreciate them, well, you got a lot of ideas.
Well, that's a very important point that you make, especially, I would say in any business, but especially in the service business. Your customer, your client, they are a critical piece, or they are the key or keys to your success. Yeah. So if you don't treat people right, if you don't treat your customers right, it's not possible to run a successful business, especially in this day and age where you have social media, online reviews, and those sorts of things where they can eat your lunch, no pun intended, at the drop of a dime. So how has that played a role in your business, social media, online reviews, that sort of thing?
Well, I will say, so our executive chef came on 18 years ago, and he is not a personal user of any social media or anything like that, but he always had the mindset that if somebody's putting their hard-earned money out for this, I want to make sure that I'm proud of putting it out there. I want them to be really happy and be like, that was worth my money. And so he always talked about that with everybody that he worked with. And so we were very fortunate because, when Yelp came, it kind of exploded. But we didn't have to change our operations because that mindset had already been clearly established that if it, it doesn't matter if they put it on the internet or they tell their friends or if it's in their own heart, we want to make sure that it's 5 stars for them. So we were pretty fortunate that we didn't have to pivot too much. And luckily, people did kind of organically go and put reviews, because that is one of the things we said. Everything has been this grassroots marketing that has allowed us to kind of flourish and become the full service place we are now.
Right, and social media is just one of those grassroots tools that without that marketing budget that you joke about not having, that give you really unlimited opportunity for growth. Now, do you all have children?
Yes.
How many?
3 together.
Now, are they into food?
Oh, man.
You should answer.
Do they come get up all the profits?
Yeah, right. That is a fun thing, especially when my daughter Amira, she will order up a salmon salad, and like it's nothing. We're trying to teach her the value of money. But even our youngest, we have a 10-month-old daughter. Her name is Gigi, and Adriana, she will try anything from pickles to, she just will munch on anything. So we really...
all 3 of them have an adventurous palate. They'll put the one time our son put filet on pizza. Because he was in the mood. And we were like, oh, you're just too blessed that you've had... So that is one area of their life that, they're very fortunate to eat anything, anytime.
Yeah, open-minded.
Now, if you were to give advice to... someone looking to get into the hospitality industry, what would you tell them?
From me, what I would say is, I love the hospitality industry. It's dynamic. You don't spend hours sitting behind a desk.
That's right.
You get to work with, the best part I think about the industry is you get to work with people from all walks of life. So there are some people that are looking for something short term while they have a bigger dream. There are some people that this is their dream. They love the freedom. They love that they can make their own schedules. There's other people that have had a whole lifetime of experience, and then now they're just looking to fill time. So I love that we get to work with this huge, diverse group of people. Everyone's always on their feet. Everyone looks out for each other like a family. But it is ours, that's one thing that people that we've come across don't always realize, that it is ours, that you're in a building and you got to be willing to put in that time, because if you try to cheapen it, you try to shorten it or farm it out to other people, customers are very sophisticated. Customers know you can't cut corners with the quality, you can't cut corners with your time. So it's a big commitment.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, working with your spouse every day sometimes could be challenging.
That's right.
Because, sometimes you can't be the real CEO that you want to be. Sometimes you get your power taken from you. So what is that experience like from both of your perspectives?
You can answer first.
I think for me, it's really been a positive experience. And it's the only thing I could say is really hard to control and really keep under control is not to do work all day. Because it really can get that way, where even at night, after a nice movie, an idea will pop in my mind, and next thing you know, we're in a business talk, and it takes Amy to say, can we talk about this tomorrow? But that's probably the hardest challenge. But being able to work together, when we're traveling, we get to see ideas, and we get shared right in real time. So in that sense, I don't know any other way, and I love having brothers and wife in the business.
Yeah, for me, I think the best thing about it is we get to play on each other's strengths. So, his brain is very different than mine. And that's something that, so we can use that to both of our advantages. Like if there's a situation that's like, he knows I cannot this has to go to you. But then me the same way. If I'm like, once I push it onto you, now I have this person that I trust 100%, that I literally don't even have to think about it.
Right.
I know you'll take care of it. So I think that part is nice that we have each other, but we are so different too. So that helps.
Right.
That helps.
So what's the most rewarding part about what you do?
For me, it's the people. Seeing employees grow, seeing customers that you, at one point, maybe they rolled their kid in with their stroller, and now that child is, in college or beyond.
Right.
And on a personal front, it's a little bit of the freedom that you get. Not that sometimes I'm running to work in the middle of the night and alarm system going off and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it's not just that freedom, but it's the freedom of thinking of how I want the next 10 years to be.
Yes.
And that's for me the most, personally rewarding. And, but the people in the team and seeing them grow is the professional reward.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And then just on a daily basis, it's hard to be really not having a good day when, everybody loves to eat. What
That's
else?
right.
What else do you do in life? And so when people eat a good meal and they're just like, "Oh, that was so good," our chef and our team, like everybody works so hard, and so to get that reaction and to see that, it's great. And generally, you're in this gathering place of people, are friends, family members. People are celebrating things. So most of the time, you have people coming in for good reasons, and so you kind of get to pick up on that joy. You get to be part of that joy, and so I feel that we get that really good feeling, that drive home from work. You're just like, you're kind of riding that high, and I don't know if I would get that in different type of work settings.
So you have a very successful business, one that is really embraced by the community. What are you most proud of about what you've accomplished with One World?
For me, sometimes it's hard to even recognize that I'm successful, and I don't know if that comes across different, but the truth is when others tell you how important your establishment is for their life, whether they got engaged there, or there's memories there, or sometimes, in fact, one quick story, I was up in Chicago and actually was eating at another restaurant, and somebody came up to me and said, I went to Bradley University, and it was the best place where my parents brought me.
Right.
I loved it when that. So rewarding for me is being when people tell me how important One World is to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as rewarding, I would say really, I think that's where really for me is the employees. Right now we employ over 80 people that are here in our community, and the management team, the chef's been with us 18 years, and we have another manager that's been with us 19 years, and just to me, seeing them happy and then seeing how that goes and the way they can coach and work with other managers and other employees. I think it does. That's the part that I feel really proud of, looking around and seeing that because we pride ourselves on being a positive company culture, we want people to feel valued and respected. And so even though, we are just a single location restaurant, knowing that all those employees have this good experience in their job, hopefully they feel that way too, that makes us feel really proud.
I've been listening to you all talk about this, and I think it's really something that should be highlighted. One of the things that you talk about consistently is the fact that you are proud of the opportunities that you give your employees and your staff, and allowing them to, number one, have a job, have a career, and be able to feed their families and send their kids to school. And that's a big responsibility that employers have that sometimes people take for granted. But the role that you are playing in your community by providing jobs and opportunities go beyond just serving food in the hospitality industry. And so I'm very happy that you all recognize that important role that you play. For One World, what's next for One World?
We don't know. No, right now, truthfully, we just came off of the situation with the pandemic. Was very scary for restaurants. And like I said, we always felt confident that we would make it through. But we are watching trends to see what is next for the restaurant industry in general. There's been so many thoughts of, people, everything's going to move to kiosks and the next generation only wants carry out. And so, you know, we're reading these articles, we're visiting places, but at the same time, we have to just keep looking inward and looking at what's happening. And for us, we are still seeing lots of in-person people. We're still seeing people that they're not abandoning this idea. So I think we're really just trying to focus on making it stable. And of course, we could always expand our hours. And my dream, if I really sang it, I would love if the city of Peoria would work with us. I would love to do a rooftop dining situation because I think Peoria could really enjoy that.
That's right.
Oh, I think I would be there.
Amen.
Yeah, keep me posted.
All right.
Look, I've really enjoyed having you on the show. Thank you so much for being a guest.
So much.
I really appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule to be here. Thank you for watching. Without you, there's no me.